My name is Beth Boilott, and my name is spelled like Boilott, so if you're confused and think I'm somebody else, I'm not. I'm Beth Boilott. And I wanted to tell you that just a couple of things about me. I was raised in Savannah, Georgia, and loved it, and was there until my late 30s. And I worked as a counselor with those experiencing addiction, and mostly their family members. If you know about addiction, you know that it is a family experience. And I mean family, like our blood family, our birth family, and our family of choice. And sometimes our family of choice can be more important than our blood relatives. And I moved to Nashville, and I was always involved in church. I liked church, but my desire in my counseling training wanted me to question things that I was told not to question. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. But I was like, oh, there's all these things. And one of the training tracks that I had was on affirmative prayer, affirmative meditations for counseling with Louise Hay, and she was a wonderful New Thought teacher. And so I saw these things working not only with my clients, but in my life, and I thought, wow, this is great. This is really great. And I had something happen in my life and that caused me to leave the church. It was a relationship that ended, and I decided I was going to try on Unity. So I tried on Unity, but here's what I did. I walked in, I listened to the lesson, and I was like, I do not want these people to touch my hands. Do not hug me because I will cry. So I would leave like during the peace song, let there be peace on earth, and I was out of there. So that's what I did. And it was a big church. It was a wonderful place. And then I was running late for church, and I was benefiting well from the teachings, running late for church. And there was a smaller church that was closer to my home. And I thought, well, I can't have as much anonymity in a smaller place, so I'll try it on anyway. So I went. They had just started their community, and it was a spiritual community, and it was wonderful, and it was great, and there was no place to escape. They had somebody at the back door, at the side door, everywhere you were. All these people were all over you. I mean, they were just like, hi, it's so great, can I hug you? And it's like before you said yes, they were just on you. And, and I thought, maybe this is what I need, because I cried on the way home, and took to heart what was being taught there. And that church grew, man, it grew. And I was there, and it was wonderful. And so I started realizing that in counseling, I had developed a women's treatment program. And it was great, and we had wonderful groups. And I would guest speak at different Unity churches and do some music and things. And I was at a little church in Florida, and I had a great time. It's great when you guest speak somewhere. You just do your thing, and everybody loves you, and you leave, right? And so I was at this church, and I got a call when I got home. And I was on the licensed Unity teacher path. And the board president called me and said, we want you to come and be our minister. I said, I can't be your minister. I don't have the credentials to be your minister. And I said, I'm not an LUT yet. They said, we don't care. We called Worldwide Ministries, and they said we could offer you the position under special dispensation. So about 6 weeks earlier, I had said yes to ministry. I wasn't specific enough. I thought I was going to go to the village and have like 2 or 3 years of immersion and spiritual growth at this beautiful place. And I usually took my classes out at Unity Village. So I had a great job, a big, lovely job, and I loved it. But I had said yes. And so I said yes, and I went there. To sum it all up, I've served a couple of churches as a spiritual leader, small churches. The first church I served the first Sunday, there were 12 people there. Yeah. And then we grew to like 80 people, and that was huge for us, you know. But what I want you to know is that what brought me to that was that counseling was wonderful. I loved it, but I really couldn't talk much about spiritual issues. You know, there's rules. And it wasn't that I was wanting to break the rules. I just wanted to share what I had gained. And so I did. And I hope I continue to do so. And my coming here is a miracle, truly a miracle. And I came here, I had watched online a couple of times and just loved you all, but what Reverend Darlene teaches really goes to the core of me. So I thought, I'm going to go do anything that's offered there. So I came with a ministerial group, and I came to a prayer chaplain. Thank you. See, she's going to do the lesson regardless. So, thank you. But it was great, and I went home to my partner, and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to be a part of that team. That's what I want to do. Oh, gosh, it'd be great if I could do that. And she said, well, why don't you ask? And so I sent an email to Reverend Darlene. There was nothing available. And then Christy retired. And here I am. And thank you. Thank you. So faith and hope brought me here. So it's perfect that I'm speaking on hope today. I am so glad to be here, and Reverend Megan is part of it. It's like there was Christy, and now there's going to be me and Reverend Megan. So, you know, Christy did a whole lot. I'm looking forward to Megan being here more. So here's what I wanted to share with you. Several years ago, I heard this in a group, and it just was so beautiful to me. So if you're willing to hold hands or just touch the back of each other's chair. This was written by a woman named Roseanne. And Roseanne developed a support group, so her last name will not be shared. This is a version of that. I put my hand in yours, and together we can do what we could never do alone. No longer is there a sense of hopelessness. No longer must we depend on our own unsteady willpower. But we are together now. And as we join, we find gifts of love, understanding, compassion, and strength beyond our wildest dreams. And so it is. And so it is. Now, thank you, Roseanne, for creating that. I wanted to share with you, I was reading over some information by Eric Butterworth that was in one of the publications from Unity. And he said that Advent comes from the word, from the Latin, that says arrival, that means arrival. It is coming into view of something. Advent, coming into view of something. Maybe what we're hoping for is coming into view now. And we have faith that we can manifest our highest and best. We have faith, hope, that we can manifest, co-create our highest and best. How many of you are fed by being here in co-creating your highest and best? So we are bringers of hope. We are bringers of hope. We are that. We don't just hope for something, we are that. It's just like we don't just have faith, we are faith, manifest. At night when I go to sleep, I don't worry that I'm going to breathe or not when I wake up in the morning. That's faith in my vessel, faith in the divinity. I just trust it, right? But what if, okay, so that's a big trust. That's huge faith. Just knowing that you'll wake up in the morning believing that. But what if, right before you go to sleep, somebody calls you and they say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I am going to do. I have lost everything. I don't have a place to go. I don't know what I'm going to need. I have gone through this horrific divorce. You know, happens, right? Happens to some of us. So what do we do in those moments? We call forth hope and faith, right? We call forth hope and faith. And we talk and we communicate with someone. And we do what is ours to do. Now, that's the hard part for a lot of us. Because a lot of times we want to give that we really cannot, and I'm going to use this word, afford. And I mean afford emotionally, maybe financially, in the physicality, maybe financially. But what we can do is we can be present for them. And instead of providing sympathy, like, man, I'm really sorry, we provide empathy. I don't know what I can do, but I hope things get better. And I believe they will. I am here. I am here. I am here. There was a song that was written in the 1500s, and we all know what's going on in Israel today, right? It's all that's going on there. And it's called, O Come, Emmanuel. And think about it, in the 1500s, how relevant that is today. You know, it's, O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lowly exile here. You can sing with me. Until the Son of God appear. Now, rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Emmanuel, hope, divinity within us, yes, shall come to you, O Israel. Everyone is hoping and holding faith for Israel now, right? That was written in the 1500s. How long our faith and our hope last and how far it goes is amazing. Absolutely amazing. We are so incredibly powerful in our thoughts and our love and our connection. What we say, how we are with people. Someone can be having, Nova, I hope this is okay. I'm going to walk down. Someone could be having a really, really bad day. And you're at the checkout. And you just go, oh, Your hair is so beautiful. It's so great to see you. Hope you're having a great day. What does that do energetically? How does that, I'm not going to say make us feel, but how that allows us to feel? So the other night, I had a dream. So I dreamt that I was Oprah Winfrey's bestie. No joke. This is the truth. This is the truth. I dreamt that we were at some big conference, and my mother was there too, and she was attending some other conference, and she was having a great time. And so I was hanging around with Oprah, and we were talking about doing things that will enhance life. What kinds of things can we bring that can enhance life, ours and everyone else's? It was great. I mean, we ate together. She had her own suite. I had my own suite. There were all these people that were trying to get to her, and no one would let them come around her, but except for me. For me. I was Oprah's bestie. Gail must have been on vacation or something. So, anyway, it was just a great experience. I loved it. I woke up, and I felt so good. And later on that night, I called my partner, Pat. Some of you have met her. She will be here, and we will be here permanently this coming weekend. Yes. We're so very happy, and our fur babies too. So I told her, about the dream and how great it was, and that was in the morning that I told her. And then later that night when we were saying goodnight and we were on FaceTime, she said, sweet dreams, my love. Maybe I'll see you and Oprah in my dreams. And I said, that would be great fun. And she said, well, you are a great manifester. And she said, and hope springs eternal. Hope springs eternal. And it does. And it's here now. One more thing I wanted to share with you is that through all my years of counseling, which is about 30, I think, total. Yeah, I started when I was 12. But I loved to conduct group therapy because it was amazing. You'd have like 12 people in a room, and you would watch how one person would share and someone else would witness it, and they held on to that as evidence that they could do that too. So if someone said, I have just, I've come from all these experiences and all these things that have happened during this disease, but you know what? Every day that I'm not using, I've decided is a good day. Every day, even if it's just for 8 hours, it's a good 8 hours. And someone else hears that and they go, oh, that makes such great sense. Because if you know anything about addictions, a lot of times people come into treatment 25, 26 times, and finally, all of a sudden, something happens. And they heard something from a different tone of voice, a different way of being, a different something that opened them up, and they heard it, And sobriety is difficult. First, you've got a disease that people are still judgmental about. And then when you get abstinent, you're still not sober. You've just abstained from whatever you're using, whether it's food, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is. And it takes time to experience sobriety so that you can absorb information and absorb things. So When the families came in, the people that were in the primary group were like, oh, I did this, I did that. And the families would be like, oh, you've been doing this for years. But, we're losing hope. So my responsibility was to say to the primary addict, so how does that feel for you? Not to sound too therapeutic, but how's that feel for you? And they said, well, I can understand because I've only been here like 7 days, and you've been living with me for the past however many years this is going on. So I can understand that you don't trust it yet. But I really hope that we can get to a point that you can believe and have faith that I can work with this disease and have a great life. And sometimes the families were deflecting on doing their own stuff because they were so focused on what was going on with this other person. I mean, it was like they were just like this sieve for anything that went wrong in life. Oh, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, and it's not. One of the things that we teach here in Unity is that our work is inside. We love each other, we nurture each other, we care for each other, but our work is inside, and we are that of the physical and the divine. So a lot of times we have these separation experiences, right? We're never separate from our divinity, but sometimes it may feel that way. So, what is important to us to remember is that there are no police that are going to come up to you as a New Thought person and say, you cannot say, come to me. Oh, God, please help me. Oh, whatever, higher power, whatever, hinge on the door that I believe in. Oh, come to me. And so I remembered that it's like a calling to ourselves. Come to me. Remember all the good. Come to me. My divinity is now absorbed within me. Come to me. Come to me. In all situations. But what really gets our attention is discomfort. And you know what's so beautiful about that? Is the reason why discomfort gets our attention is because most of our life is so comfortable. Think about it. The reason why discomfort gets our attention is because most of our life we go along with comfort. We are in a place of comfort. So it's like an example as simple as stubbing your toe. We walk around and we think everything's fine, and we run in and we stub our toe and it hurts. And the reason it gets our attention is because we don't usually have a hurt toe. Does that make sense? Okay. So I hope that you have some dreams that, I don't know, if Oprah's not somebody that really speaks to you, maybe somebody else. I was at a workshop one time and I said, and they said, who would you want to be we're not discounting who your parents are, but who would you want to be your archetype parents? And I said, I want Jesus and Kate Hepburn. That's who I want. Man, what cool parents would that be? Just think, what great parents. That would be so much fun. And I could wear those slacks and I could talk like Kate, and then I could be holy in the experience of Jesus. I thought I'd made a good pick. Anyway. So I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm so glad to be here. This is truly a dream for me, to be part of a team of integrity and love and deep spiritual appreciation for each other and for everyone. So, you think it's time we could meditate a little bit? Would that be okay? Okay, let's go. Let's do that. First, I have to walk around these beautiful poinsettias. I say poinsettia, and Pat calls them poinsettias, so we looked it up, and both are correct, just so that you you're aware. Oops, can't put that down. So I invite you to close your eyes and to remember that you are never separate, that you are the faith, the hope, that you are beauty and grace and goodness and wisdom. Come to me when you are weary. Come to me. Come to me. We are never parted. I am with you always. Come to me. Come to me. And I will give you rest. I will give you rest. So we remember that any time that we feel separate, all we have to do is just think, come to me. Come to me when you are weary. Ooh, come to me. Come to me. We are never parted. I am with you always. Come to me. Come to me. So in this moment, we breathe in and we breathe out, and we send appreciation to our bodies. And we just know that all of our systems are working together in perfect harmony, right here and now. We feel the gratitude, and we feel the eternal hope and faith, especially of the season, and expectancy of Advent. And so we think of this, and we call this come to me experience. And we know that what is ours to do is to wrap our arms around our souls and each other's souls. And so we do that right here and now. We send that love in, through, and as us. I wrap my arms around your soul, and we know we are not alone. You wrap your arms around your soul, and you know you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. Come to me when you are weary. You are not alone. You are not alone. We are never parted. I am with you always. Come thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this time, this experience, this moment in this sacred